Flying in 2025? Your carry-on is basically a suspect. You packed smart, paid extra, arrived early, and still got tagged. Let's break down why this keeps happening and how to beat the system. The Great Carry-On Betrayal. You ever get to the gate feeling all smug because you packed light, skipped the checked bag fee, and followed every airline rule, only to have some gate agent slap a neon tag on your carry-on like it's radioactive? Yeah, welcome to 2025, where your approved size roller bag gets snatched at the finish line. You didn't mess up, the system did. Airlines overbook bin space on purpose. They know full well there isn't room for everyone's bag, but instead of fixing the problem, they let you believe you're the lucky one, until you're not. Doesn't matter if you boarded early or paid for priority. If your section's late or the plane's smaller than expected, your bag's going down into the belly. And once it's there, say goodbye to access, safety, and peace of mind. Medications, electronics, passport, stuff that should never leave your side, are now riding on a baggage cart with zero warning. It's not just annoying, it's about control. And that's why more and more travelers are ditching the carry-on fight completely. Don't play their game, play smarter. The sneaky carry-on fee trap. Let's rewind to when you booked your flight. You saw that low fare and thought, nice, I'm beating the system. But surprise, that cheap seat doesn't include your carry-on. Not anymore. Some airlines have turned what used to be free into a sneaky upsell. They lure you in with a budget fare, then smack you with a $65 carry-on fee at check-in, often more than it costs to check a full suitcase. And they're not exactly broadcasting this. It's buried in the fine print behind 3 drop-down menus and asterisks. By the time you realize what's happening, you're already invested, so you pay it. You show up, you board, and right when you think you've won, they still take your bag. We're out of overhead space, they say, like that's your fault. It's a classic bait and switch. You paid to keep your bag with you, and now it's getting tossed under the plane with zero accountability. So if it breaks, tough luck. If something goes missing, file a form. The worst part, you followed the rules. But in this game, following the rules doesn't always mean winning. The gate lice epidemic. You've seen them, maybe you've been them. That crowd of anxious travelers hovering near the gate 20 minutes before their group is even called. Yeah, that's gate lice. And it's not as gross as it sounds, but it is a symptom of a broken system. People aren't rude for fun, they're stressed. They know if they don't board early, their carry-on might get snatched no matter what they paid or how small it is. So they cluster near the boarding zone like it's a concert pit, pretending not to hover while secretly inching forward. It turns the whole vibe sour. Nobody's sitting, everyone's side-eyeing each other. And the boarding process becomes a chaotic stampede of nervous energy and passive aggression. All because airlines refuse to guarantee bin space for something they charge you extra to bring. It's absurd, and honestly, it's exhausting. The reality is, the overhead bin has become prime real estate, and everyone's scrambling to stake a claim. But what if you just opted out? What if you packed in a way that didn't require bin space at all? Because once you stop fighting for the bin, the entire flight changes. And we're going there next. The personal item power move. Here's what seasoned travelers aren't telling you. They're skipping the carry-on war altogether. No roller bag, no overhead bin wrestling match, just one personal item. Sounds limiting, right? Like, how are you supposed to fit a whole trip's worth of stuff into a bag that lives under a seat? But once you try it, you realize it's the cheat code. First, almost every airline, even the ones that charge you to breathe, still lets you bring one personal item for free. No surprise fees, no gate tag drama, and more importantly, no losing control of your essentials. That personal item, it stays with you through boarding, midair, turbulence, everything. Your tech, passport, meds, snacks, it's all right there at your feet, not on a conveyor belt, not getting punted around in the cargo hold. And the boarding experience? Smooth, no stress, no gate lice panic. You stroll on whenever your group's called, sit down, and slide your bag under the seat. Done. It's not about being minimalist, it's about being smart. Because when you're not fighting for overhead space, you're already one step ahead of everyone else. And yes, you can fit what you need. Let's talk about how. The Ranger Roll Revolution. Okay, so you're thinking, cool idea, but how am I supposed to pack 5 days worth of stuff into a backpack? Fair, but that's because you've been folding like a civilian. Time to level up with the Ranger Roll. This isn't some TikTok gimmick. It's how the military packs when they need to travel light, fast, and efficient. And it works. Here's the deal. Instead of folding clothes into chunky squares, you roll them into tight little burritos with a twist. You flip a flap of fabric to create a pocket, roll everything up snug, then tuck the end in so it stays locked. The result? No fluff, no wrinkles, no chaos when you open your bag. I've packed for cold weather trips using just this method. Layers, jeans, sweatshirts, all Ranger rolled and stashed in a single backpack. It's like playing Tetris with fabric, and suddenly that personal item feels a lot bigger. You don't just save space, you gain control. No more cramming, no more hoping the zipper holds, just clean, compact rolls that turn packing into a low-key superpower. And once you get the hang of it, you'll never fold a t-shirt the same way again. Compression cubes equals game changer. So you've got your Ranger rolls down and everything's looking tight until you realize your backpack still feels stuffed. That's where compression cubes come in. These aren't your average packing cubes, they're like vacuum bags without the vacuum. You fill them up with your neatly rolled clothes, zip the main compartment, then run the second zipper around the edges. Suddenly, your puffy pile of clothes turns into this dense, satisfyingly flat brick of order. It's weirdly satisfying, and it works especially well with bulky stuff. Hoodies, fleece, that one puffer jacket you thought was a lost cause. I once packed for a winter trip to Chicago using nothing but Ranger rolls and one compression cube. Fleece, long sleeves, even thermals, all under one airplane seat. Without that cube, I'd have been toast, or paying $75 to check a bag. And the best part? When everything's compressed and squared off, your bag feels structured, not chaotic. You're not digging around for socks, you're gliding. Packing doesn't feel like damage control, it feels like strategy. And when space is tight, that little edge, it matters. The right bag is everything. Here's where most people blow it. They learn to roll, they master the compression cube. Then they toss it all into some cute little tote that can barely hold a water bottle. Look, your personal item might sound small, but airlines define it by fit, not vibes. If it slides under the seat, it qualifies. And that means you've got way more room to play with than you think, if you pick the right bag. The sweet spot? A full-sized backpack that hugs the airline's exact max dimensions. Not over, not way under, just right on the edge. That gives you the most legal space without drawing any attention. Some of the pros swear by structured bags like the Nomad Lane Bento. It opens flat like a suitcase, has a spot for tech, chargers, even shoes, and still slides under the seat like it belongs there. That one choice, maximizing your personal item, unlocks the whole strategy. It's not about sneaking anything past the TSA, it's about knowing the rules and using them better than the airlines expect. Your bag isn't just storage, it's your last line of control. So make it count. InFlight Hack for legroom. Let's talk about a tiny move that makes a big difference once you're in the air. You know the rule. Your personal item has to stay under the seat in front of you during takeoff and landing. Cool, no problem. But once the seatbelt sign goes off, you've got options. Here's what frequent flyers do that most people don't even think about. They just slide their bag back a few inches, right behind their calves. Doesn't block the aisle, doesn't annoy the crew, but suddenly your feet have space again. It's like unlocking a secret level of comfort mid-flight. On a 3-hour trip, that small shift saves you from feeling like your knees are glued to your chest by the end of the movie. You can stretch, wiggle, shift your weight without crunching into tray table jail. And if you're on a red eye, total game changer. You don't need some fancy travel gadget to feel better. You just need to know how to move. It's small, subtle, and totally allowed. But when you're flying with just one personal item, every inch counts. And this one feels like you hacked the plane. The laptop pocket death trap. Mid-flight, you're chilling. You've got your playlist going, snacks within reach, and maybe you've been knocking out some work. Then you decide to take a break, so you do what feels natural. Slide your laptop into the seat back pocket. Big mistake. Huge. Those flimsy pockets weren't built for tech. They were built for like a barf bag and a crumpled safety card. That's it. The second the person in front of you reclines, your MacBook screen might just become a $1,200 casualty. There are real horror stories: cracked displays, snapped hinges, laptops bent like pretzels just because someone leaned back. And even if your device does survive, let's talk about the hygiene factor. Those seat pockets are like the junk drawers of the skies. Snack crumbs, used tissues, mystery gunk, and zero regular cleaning. If your laptop could scream, it would. So here's the better move. When you're not using it, slide it back into your underseat bag. Ideally in a padded sleeve, not free-floating with your charging cables. It takes maybe 10 seconds, but it could save your gear and your sanity. Don't let a $3 pocket ruin your $1,000 setup. TSA Chaos, what not to pack. You're finally at security. You've done everything right. You're on time, and then, boom, stuck behind someone who forgot the 3.4-ounce rule and packed a full bottle of shampoo. Or worse, you are that person. Look, TSA may feel like a mess, but most of the delays, they're caused by stuff people shouldn't have packed in the first place. Liquids over the limit still get flagged in 2025. Yes, we're still doing the 3-1-1 rule. 1 quart-sized clear bag, and each item under 3.4 ounces. That fancy face serum? If it's oversized, they're tossing it. Then there's the forbidden blade parade. Cuticle scissors, pocket knives, weird fruit-peeling tools. TSA sees it all, and they'll stop the line to dig it out. Power banks are another trap. They must be in your carry-on, never in checked bags. People get flagged every day for this, and flights have literally been delayed because someone's battery pack went into the cargo hold. Not a good look. So check the rules before you pack. TSA has an entire list online, or just message at Ask TSA. They actually reply. A little prep saves a lot of groaning from the people behind you. That's it. If this helps you rethink how you travel, hit like, drop your hacks or horror stories in the comments, and subscribe for more videos that make flying suck less. Next up, what not to pack in your personal item. TSA won't warn you, but I will.